Well, thank you, Miss Vermont, Miss Vermont's teen, and Miss Little Red Clover. Again, if you want to see archival footage of former Miss Vermonts, please donate to the CCTV archives. They are all throughout our archives. Again, you can donate at 802-862-3966. You can also donate online at telethon.cctv.org. Right now, we have a very special guest for you, another Miss Vermont, but this is Miss Black Vermont, Harmony Edosomwan here in Studio B to cook with us and show us what she's cooking.
Hi everyone, my name is Harmony Edosomwan and I am currently serving as Miss Black Vermont 2026. I'll be competing for Miss Black USA next August of 2026, where I get the opportunity to get a full ride to law school or graduate school, but I'm gonna go to law school for business law. But like I said, my name is Harmony Edosomwan. I own Harmony's Kitchen, which is Vermont's original Afro-fusion soul food business. Today, we're gonna be cooking up something fun. We're gonna be making my famous cornbread waffles. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of cornbread waffles before, but it's like my unique twist on traditional waffles while adding a nice soul food flair. At Harmony's Kitchen, we like to kind of add a twist to things. I like to call my food soul food with a Vermont twist because we like to infuse, like, you know, traditional Vermont culture, traditional Vermont foods into some of traditional soul food foods. But today, cornbread waffles. But let's get started. I have all my ingredients laid out here today. We have some cornmeal, flour, some eggs, brown sugar, more salt, baking powder, and some other things. But yeah. I think to start though, I'm gonna show you something really cool. Did you know that you can make buttermilk at home? And you can make it in less than 5 minutes? All you need is some milk and a little bit of acid. I would say, today I'm using white vinegar, but you can use lemon juice, you can use apple cider vinegar. I've also heard of champagne vinegar. I don't know if you've ever had that, I haven't. Sounds lovely though. So, I'm gonna start off with this because I need it to sit for about 5 minutes before we add it to our ingredients. But first, this is just a cup of milk, regular old milk, right? We're gonna add a little bit, about a tablespoon of vinegar. And what it's gonna do is, we're gonna start seeing some of the milk kind of curl up a bit. And that's when we know it's ready. But yeah, just like that, 5 minutes. We're gonna let that sit there. But just like that. Buttermilk at home. Save some money, save some time. I'm sure you have milk at your house. I'm sure you have white vinegar probably sitting inside some cabinet that you haven't used in ages. But that's how you make some buttermilk. Very simple, all right? So we're gonna let that do its thing. But for now, let's get started on some waffles, right? Now, I don't know if you've eaten breakfast yet. I personally haven't. So I'm really excited to hurry up and make these waffles, okay? Right now I got some cornmeal. This is 1 cup of cornmeal. And this recipe makes about 4 Belgian style waffles, all right? So that's 1 cup of cornmeal. We're gonna add 1 cup of flour. And I'm gonna start off adding all my dry ingredients. We're also gonna add about 1/4 a cup of brown sugar, but I'm gonna add, about half a cup. After that, we're gonna add a little bit of baking powder and a little bit of salt as well, okay? And we're just gonna whisk that all together, nice and easy. Now my brown sugar is a little bit clumpy, so we're just gonna make sure we beat that out a little bit. Get that mixing. This is so simple, very easy. If you're in a rush, you know, you need something quick, but you don't really want to buy something, or maybe today you're not feeling like you want to order some Harmony's Kitchen, you can go ahead and make some of my famous cornbread waffles. All right, just gonna get that out of there. I think today it would be so great to talk to you all about why I started my business, Harmony's Kitchen, in the first place. And kind of like how I got to Vermont. I started my business, Harmony's Kitchen, when I was a college student. And I was just a senior at the time, but I started it because I was kind of struggling with, very much so, struggling with food insecurity at the time. I would go from one food pantry to the other just to be able to get food to eat. That's what inspired me to start my business because, you know, I was broke, trying to make a way for myself. And I noticed something living here back in 2016 when I first came, and there wasn't really any authentic soul food spots. There are people making mac and cheese, people making fried chicken, but in the way that it's traditionally done in its origins, authentically, Southern, I didn't really recognize that. I went back home to New York City on one break. It was my winter break, I believe, my senior year. And there was a girl there who was making vegan soul food out of her apartment. I was very inspired by this, and I grabbed some of her food sometime and I tried it. I bought it for myself and my sisters. And I was talking to my sisters and I was like, you know, this would be really cool inside Vermont. I'm just using this spatula here to pat out some of the clumps we're seeing. You don't want any clumps because it will show up when you put this in the waffle iron, the clumps will show, okay? So we're just gonna be really diligent here and cut out these clumps, okay? Just like that. Boom. Yeah, so I was talking to my sisters and I was like, you know, this isn't really here. My older sister, being the wonderful person she is, she said, why don't you do that in Vermont? Go on Amazon, you know, order some takeout containers, as simple as that, and then boom, you can start your own food business just like that. And so that's exactly what I did. I came back to Vermont. I was living at the time with about 5 other people, as college students do, and I ordered some takeout containers. And I just got the business started. Right now I'm creating a divot, as you see. Nice little divot here. And we're gonna put all of our wet ingredients inside of here. Now, the reason why I create this divot is because I'm all about saving dishes, you know? And when I say saving dishes, I mean doing dishes. I'm not one that likes to do dishes a lot, okay? So any way that I could minimize how much dishes we use, I'm gonna do that. And creating a divot in the bowl you're already using is a great way to do that. Normally, you would have another bowl, you'll mix all your wet ingredients that way, but we're not gonna do that here, okay? Now, let's crack some eggs. We're gonna add 2 eggs here, like so. I love all these close-ups. This is so great, 'cause I literally just got my nails done, so wonderful. The recipe does not call for eggshells, so we're not gonna add that in there, okay? Make sure there's no eggshells in there. Beautiful. So we have our eggs. Now we're gonna add some oil. Now oil is great because it helps to kind of make your waffles a little bit more moist. You can either use vegetable oil, or if you wanna melt some butter. Now, a trick that we do in the kitchen is that we actually use brown butter. So we put some butter on the stove, we make sure it gets all brown, and then we put it inside. Don't say I never told you guys anything. I'm telling you guys a lot of stuff today. So we have our eggs in here, we have our vegetable oil, and we're gonna add some maple syrup to also make it extra sweet. Okay? And then look at this, y'all. What did I tell you about the buttermilk? That is curling up. Do you see that? We just made our own buttermilk right here in the studio. Nice and easy. And I've been so busy this week because I'll tell you guys about this in a second, but I've been going on a soul food tour all across Vermont, and we're bringing soul food into small towns, okay? And I've just been so busy, I didn't have time to go to the store to grab buttermilk in the first place. And so I was like, dang. I was like, wait, I can make buttermilk by myself. So I literally just ran into my kitchen. Like I said, I had the milk, I had the vinegar that was usually, you know, sitting in the cabinet, just sitting there. And we got it done. So now we're gonna add our freshly made buttermilk that we made right here in studio. So simple, so easy. Great. We have this all together. I'm all about cleaning up too. You gotta clean while you go, okay? Now we're just gonna mix this up. Very simple. Boom, boom, boom. This is looking delicious already. Don't eat it like this though, it's not ready, okay? It's not ready yet. Yeah, so back to my story about starting my business, Harmony's Kitchen. I was living with 5 other people at the time, y'all. 5 other people. And I decided to start my business in that very crowded apartment. I just started, very simple menu. I had fried chicken, mac, fried chicken, rice and beans. And I basically just started selling food out of my apartment to my fellow classmates. And people were coming. People were very excited, kind of almost immediately when I started my business. They were very excited. Now, we're gonna plug in our waffle iron, get this all heated up really quick. And I'm using a Cuisine Art waffle iron. I am not sponsored though, so. Maybe that could be a thing in the future, who knows? Perfect. People were very excited from the very beginning about my business. And so I would literally have a line of people coming to my bedroom, not my bedroom, but my, I think at the time it was like a 5-bedroom apartment where like I said, I lived with 5 other people, and they were just lining up outside there. I eventually moved out from that place and I moved into a 1-bedroom where we really got cranking. And yeah, people would literally line up outside of my 1-bedroom apartment just to grab some good food. It was very astonishing. I would have my neighbors coming and they would be like, hey, like, what's going on? Why are there so many people outside of your apartment? And I was like, well, I'm making some good food, y'all. The food is calling them and they're coming. So that was 5 years ago. I started my business when I was 22. I am now 27. I had no plans to be a caterer. I had no plans to be doing what I'm doing now. Originally, I still am a writer. That's one of my many passions. I have a lot of passions. But I thought I was going to be out in California making films, but I'm here making soul food for you all. And I could have asked for anything better. It's been an amazing journey. It's been so awesome. All right, let's see if this is all heated up. Not just yet. This is going to go green when it is. And when it does, we're going to spray it down and add our first little waffle. My goodness, so excited. Okay, now I think that's nicely mixed. I just like to make sure that it's all incorporated. I think that's good. And it's actually at a really good consistency too. Perfect. Awesome. How exciting. So that's probably gonna take another minute or so. But yeah, so like I mentioned before, I am going on a soul food tour. We are bringing my food to you to small towns as a means to meet you all and as a means to combat this narrative of, there isn't good soul food here in Vermont. And Harmony's Kitchen is here to say that is far from the truth. And we're here. And we're here to show you that good food exists here, good seasoned, Southern-inspired food. And we want to be able to go into small towns to not only help these small towns have an amazing soul food experience, but to also spread awareness about food insecurity. My own journey with food insecurity really inspired me to start my business. And Food Security for All is my platform as Miss Black Vermont. I am very passionate about spreading awareness about hunger in our state. 1 in 4 Vermonters are currently struggling with hunger. And we have such a unique form of food insecurity due to our landscape, and being that a lot of our neighbors live in really rural areas where they don't have easy access to food. They may have the money for it, but they don't have easy access. I tend to think of our neighbors who live in these areas who may not have access to a car, and how that deeply impacts their access to food. So yeah. I'm just here because I want to spread awareness about this. Every town that we go to, we are donating 10% of all of our profits to a local food justice organization or local food bank in these small towns, just as a way to, like I said, keep spreading awareness, but to also give back to you all. Because we really appreciate it, how much you guys have been showing out to us. So far on this tour, we've had 2 stops. We went to Brandon, and we've just got back yesterday from Jericho. Yeah, that is ready to go. All right, we are going to spray this down. Now, when you're doing this, make sure you're spraying top and bottom, okay? Boom. And we're gonna add about 1 cup. We're gonna add this in here so it's a little neater. We're gonna add about 1 cup of waffle to this guy. Oh yeah, and we're making this live in studio, y'all. I don't have anything pre-made for you guys today. I'm gonna add a little bit more, but sometimes I always regret adding a little bit more, but we'll see how that goes. And we're gonna give that a close. So we're gonna see live how that turns out, okay? We're gonna let that go for about 2 minutes. Things are getting a little messy. I hate mess in the kitchen, I swear. I'm just like always trying to make sure everything is clean and put together. How fun. But yeah, I'm looking to team up. We're looking to bring this soul food tour all across Vermont, okay? So right now we're putting out a call for local breweries, local bars, social clubs, restaurants that want to team up and bring soul food to your town. Feel free to email me at info@harmonieskitchenvt.com or just shoot me a DM on any of our social medias, Harmony's Kitchen VT. I want to bring soul food to your small town. We don't care how far it is. Like I said, we went to Brandon. That was about 1 hour and 15 from us. We've been getting a lot of calls to go to Brattleboro, so that might be a stop that we go. But I'm looking to go north, east, west, south. I want to go all throughout. So let's work. Let's work together. All right? All right, let's see how this is going. Oh, it's doing its thing. It's doing its thing. Okay. Okay, I like a crispier waffle, so we're just going to let that sit for a little bit. Let that chill. Now, I made a rookie mistake, and I did not bring a plate. So we're going to be a little patient, and hopefully we can hopefully get a plate. Rookie move, rookie move. And then out of nowhere, a magical plate appears. Thank you so much. And, you know, everyone in studio, y'all get to have some of these waffles, okay? So I'm going to be making all these just for y'all and me, because like I said, I didn't eat breakfast. All right, that's a crispy guy. Look at that, friends. Ha-boom. In studio. Y'all saw it here first. I didn't have anything magical coming up. This is done right here just now, okay? Boom. Let's make some more. And I'll just keep telling y'all about my life in Harmony's Kitchen. Let me tell you about this Jericho stop yesterday, though. So we went to Jericho last year in August, and Jericho absolutely showed out. I think I'm just gonna pour it. Let's see how that goes. Jericho absolutely showed out last year, and last night Jericho showed up again. Y'all literally blew us up. Y'all cleaned us out. We just love going to Jericho, and Jericho's such a cute, small town filled with amazing people. We teamed up with Lucy Howe Brewing Company, and we brought we brought soul food to Jericho for the 2nd year in a row, and it was an amazing time, literally. We will be back, Jericho, because you love Harmony's Kitchen, and we love you guys, okay? That's going. So that's 1 waffle. I can see this making 2 more waffles, and it's going to be great. I'm so hungry. I kind of want to eat it now, but I'm going to be patient. I want to get like a little stack going, you know. We'll get a little stack going. At the Jericho stop, we were actually filming a little mini documentary. Like I said, you know, I have many passions, and one of the things I wanted to do before I started my business, Harmony's Kitchen, was to actually specifically be a documentary filmmaker. It's something that I'm very passionate about. I love capturing stories. If you go on my website, if you go to any of our social media channels, you'll see that I very much like to share the story of Harmony's Kitchen, because I believe stories are important. It's a great way to get to know people, right? And yeah, so we're actually filming a mini documentary about my soul food tour, and it should be pretty exciting. I'm very excited to see how it turns out. We've zeroed in on Jericho, but we're hoping that for future kind of stops that we can film those too, and hopefully maybe turn it into a mini series. We're hoping that with the mini doc that we shot with Jericho, we're going to use this to kind of pitch it to different networks and see if someone would want to take on our tour as a little show. We'll see. Just spreading ideas out there if anyone's listening. All right, second waffle is done. This isn't as crispy, but very good. 2-stack. Let's keep it going. Bum, bum. This is so much fun. I'm having so much fun. I love cooking for people. It's like one of the many things that bring me joy. And the thing about life is that you don't really know what to expect. Like I said, I had no idea I was going to be cooking for people as a living. I've been doing it for 5 years now. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let me move that so we don't get any more batter on that. Beautiful. Amazing. Waffles are going. And this just smells great, okay? This is a great way to wake up. Great way to, if you live with someone, a roommate, a partner, and you wake them up with some Harmony's cornbread waffles. Man, let me tell you, that's a love language in itself. Harmony's cornbread waffles, okay? In the morning, yes. We're gonna let that go, and then we just have one more after that. So excited to be doing this, and we're gonna dig in and see what it tastes like. Awesome. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, the studio's smelling very good this morning, I will say. Great. So some of you at home, I'm saying this word soul food a lot, right? And some of you at home may not know what soul food is. Let me explain what that is really quick. Soul food, in its most authentic form, is a Black culinary traditional food. It's as American as apple pie. It started with enslaved Africans, and it's said that enslaved Africans were given, the lesser parts of food, food that was kind of undesirable per se, yeah? Like pig's feet or collard greens, for instance, yeah? And enslaved Africans were able to take this food and turn it into something beautiful and turn it into something marvelous, to something tasty and seasoned and flavorful, right? Soul food is a food that I like to describe as not only a food of resistance, but a food of resilience, okay? We're rhyming in here. I'm a poet, so I like to rhyme. Resistance and resilience. That despite what you may be going through, despite what life may hand to you, you can make something out of nothing. And that in its very most simple form, we have one more waffle to go. The very most simple form, my story. My story of struggling with food insecurity, struggling with, poverty, and being able to kind of claw my way out of that with my business, Harmony's Kitchen. So I hope, if anything today, that you've learned to make some delicious waffles. I also hope that you feel a little inspired, If you're going through something right now and you just need a sign that things are going to be okay, let this be the sign that things are going to be okay and that you got this. I believe in you. All right? And making soul food reminds me of that every day, that despite it all, good things are coming, okay? One more waffle to go. We're going to do, I think, a live taste test before we really, really close up. I just want to get this nice shot first of this 4-stack, and then we'll dig in with the best of our abilities, okay? Yeah. Almost done here. Let's take a little peek. Okay. It's a little lighter. We're going to let that go for another minute. Jump, jump, jump. Beautiful. Awesome. let's get this all stacked up. That will be for the studio folks. Great. Yeah, so that's what Soul Food is. That's what Harmony's Kitchen is. Me being Miss Black Vermont, I just started this position July 1st, and I had the opportunity to compete on a national level to represent Vermont. Vermont hasn't been represented in this competition in almost a decade, which is kind of insane. But I'm here to change that. And I'm proud to represent Vermont on this stage. And also for the potential to get a full ride to law school, right? That's also something that one cannot pass up. The Miss Black USA organization is one of the largest organizations, leading organizations in providing Black women specifically with scholarships. So very proud to be representing this organization as well. Let's unplug this. Make sure you always unplug your waffle irons because these bad boys get hot. Now let's get a close-up of this shot right here. Look at this, guys. Oh my goodness, look at that. 4-stack, thank you, studio, thank you. I appreciate it, I appreciate it. That was my little bow, little curtsy. Okay, let's dig in with the little bit of time that I have left. Let's do it, boom. Put that to the side. Now, I am someone that I love some whipped cream on my waffles, okay? We're just gonna get a little piece. This is the hottest one, freshest one. I don't know why I did that. All right, so we have some whipped cream. Ha-ha. Now, you can add some berries on top of this. That's what I love to do. I love a good berry on a waffle, okay? Got some maple syrup. Boom. And let's just make this into like a nice little waffle taco. Am I right? Yes. Yes, Lord. Okay, studio friends, I hope y'all are ready for this. This is nice.
Oh, I can't wait.
Absolutely delicious. Woo! Thank you guys so much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure cooking for you all today. These are my famous Harmony's cornbread waffles. I'm Harmony of Harmony's Kitchen, also serving as Miss Black Vermont. I'm wearing a lot of hats or crowns today. Yeah, it was a pleasure to spend this time with you guys. Hello.
Thank you, Harmony. Give it up for Harmony Studio. That smells amazing. It woke me up. It woke me right up. I was like, dang, my stomach is growling.
Oh, I hope you're ready.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for making food,
yes,
as always. You
yes.
know I'm a big fan of your food.
Thank you. Yeah, you've been with me from the very beginning, Travis.
Yes, I've known Harmony for years, and I kind of want to talk more about why you decided to become Miss Black Vermont. I know you talked a little bit about that on Monday.
Yes.
But I'm going to hear more about it, and then like any advice you might have for people in the future who might want to be Miss Black Vermont.
Absolutely. So I became Miss Black Vermont because I just wanted a way to represent Vermont and to, you know, still promote my platform of food security for all. I was currently, just before me, you saw Miss Vermont and Miss Vermont's teen. I actually competed for Miss Vermont last year, but the great Sophia won. But I still wanted a means to continue my work as Miss Chittenden County. I wanted to keep this ball rolling. And so I heard of the Miss Black USA competition, and I just had to apply. I had to do it. Now, if you're someone who next year, or currently we're actually looking for a missus in a teen. So we have 3 different divisions in our organization: a missus, miss, me, and a teen. I'm currently looking for a missus and a teen. So you can come join me on the national stage next year. But if you're someone that wants to be a miss, reach out to me. I want to kind of curate a program so we can keep the Miss Black Vermont position going, because we deserve to be on that national stage every year.
And so let me get this right. It works like Miss Vermont and Miss Vermont's teen, right? Where you have like kind of a goal or like a foundation that you're working, a platform. Thank you, that you're working on. That's like kind of more about like holistic help with the organization, and yours is food security.
Yes.
Which is so fitting because that's literally as long as I've known you, that has been one of your things.
Exactly.
So what have people done in the past as for their platform, or like how is other Miss Black Vermonts giving back to our community?
I'm not sure about previous Miss Black Vermonts. I think there might have just been one back in 2017, but I didn't really see much about her platform. So I feel like I'm kind of one of the first kind of, per usual it feels like, kind of first.
Another entrepreneur.
Right.
Entrepreneurial
trying
gig
to like
for harm.
really promote this and get the ball rolling even more. I'm not the first ever Miss Black Vermont, but like I said, I want to be able to be that person that helps to nurture this future position.
Yeah, I mean, you bring everything in style, so
Thank
definitely
you,
bring it back in style. Now, I also want to talk about a little bit about Harmony's Kitchen, because I think I met you before you started it, and then once we actually like got to know each other, you had started it, and I was like, oh, let me get some of Harmony's food. What other food do you make besides cornbread waffles? Do you make a part of Harmony's Kitchen?
Absolutely. So with Harmony's Kitchen, we have a specific kind of food that I like to call Afro-fusion soul food, where we're blending Southern and Nigerian and Puerto Rican cuisines with a Vermont twist to kind of produce what we're seeing before us. So we love to make fried chicken. We make, I say, the best mac and cheese in Vermont. I think we make the best fried chicken in Vermont. But so best fried chicken, best fried mac and cheese. We also make a special honey and maple glazed cornbread as well. That has the folks going crazy all the time.
The cornbread is my favorite. The cornbread is my favorite. Every single time I get myself at least 2 pieces, and then I eat it all up before I get home. It is confirmed. She told me. And we are. Yeah, so thank you so much for being here. You also do, besides cornbread, mac and cheese, fried chicken, I know you cater a lot of events. We
cater events all throughout the state. That's our main jam. We don't have a restaurant. That's also something that confuses some people sometimes. But we are primarily a catering business who does soul food pop-ups throughout the state. So we cater events of all types. We cater weddings, corporate lunches. If you're looking for a private gathering or a birthday party, we do it all right? And we've been doing that for the last 5 years. We're going to keep doing it. A restaurant is in the future, but not in the near future.
What would you say has been the most eye-opening experience since you have started Harmony's Kitchen?
Yeah. I would say, honestly, I believe that progress is made through kind of mistakes. I've made plenty of mistakes as someone who, I've never been to culinary school, I've never been to business school. I've kind of learned everything as I've been going. And in these recent years, I've been kind of, reaching out to other business owners, other entrepreneurs, other people who I look up to kind of give me advice and let me know what I should do, what I should not do. I actually went back to school for a 10-week program. I did a Goldman Sachs Black Women in Business program, which was amazing. And that was through the NYU Business Law, Stern Business School. Yes. And I got to learn. I got to have do a really deep dive in what it means to not just be a manager of your business, but what it's like to be a CEO, and moving forward like that.
Right, that's a whole different level of responsibility because you are the business.
Right, exactly. But I've learned a lot through my mistakes, and
And it's been so fantastic. From my understanding, you're kind of new to CCTV. You're in our archives a lot, which I don't think you realize.
No.
Especially during 2020, you are in our archives a lot.
I believe it.
I am too. I found that out. And
we're activist buddies.
And
that's how we met.
Yep. And but you're kind of new to coming into the station, and I would love for you to come and start a show to keep talking about your platform.
Absolutely.
But besides that, after I just told you that information, what would you say the CCTV archives means to you?
Yeah, I think that this is just a beautiful way to capture what's going on. Like you said, a lot of the 2020 protests were captured. I am also an activist as well. I wear that crown or hat as well. And being able to share these authentic and local stories is absolutely imperative. Like I said, storytelling is a huge part of what we do here at Harmony's Kitchen, and it's exactly what you guys have been doing for years upon years. So if you have in your hearts to donate to keep this amazing mission going, please do so.
Dang, I couldn't have even said it better myself. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Harmony. Yes, if you would like to donate, if you'd like to see current Miss Black Vermont in the past, you can donate to our archives. You can watch them on our archives. They're free and open to the public. Donate by calling 802-862-3966. You can also visit telethon.cctv.org. You can also go to cctv.org/donate. There's plenty of ways to get involved. Remember that the average life expectancy of a tape is about 20 to 25 years, and a lot of our tapes are over 30 years old. So please donate. Please make sure that all this community history is preserved for long in the future, so that 30 years from now, we have kids making fun of my hairstyles.
Yes.
So let's keep it going, and let's see if we can toss it right on outside, see what the Ramble has in store for us.